All right, folks. You in the zone with VNZ. This your boy Val.
And it is Cyrus. What's going on?
Yeah, we trying to improve on our first 3 seconds from last week, but we here though. Yeah, we here. Little audio snippets that get caught up and all of that fun stuff. But yeah, we. I was going to say we in the flesh, but we in our respective households, in our caves, in our office areas, whatever you want to call them, or I don't know where's he at. He might be on the porch. I don't know.
Nah, you never know where I set up. I'm in the office right now, dog.
Your
It's
office,
one of
okay?
them.
Because I'm like, you always getting situated. Last week my
Yeah,
man was walking on the walking pad. It's been weeks he's recorded outside. So shout out to
it's,
shout out to
it's
my
almost
man.
almost that time now. Listen, if,
I was
if the
going to
next
say,
couple weeks go the way they
yeah,
supposed to,
man. I was about to say, once we
the
all
big
get
outside
settled.
season.
Yeah, once we all get settled, it's definitely big outside season. Whether I'm sliding your way or you come, you know, excuse me, gonna have to get something shaking. But anywho, y'all, big things have happened in different directions with what we talked about last time. We obviously know from the Buffalo Bills perspective, since this is normally a Bills podcast, we know they're going through their off season stuff, right? Tug of war, motherfuckers, lifting weights.
Why you disrespecting tug of war with the
Hey,
rookies, big dog? Oh, that was you said that disrespectfully. Talking about tug of war.
tug of
Wow.
war.
Okay.
They got their off season. And I
Yeah.
like the off season team bonding
Yeah, it's this
perspective.
team building season. That's what this is. It's team building season.
Yeah, so I can't hate at it. I love the one thing I will say, and I'll say this because I know we ain't gonna spend too much time here. I do love seeing the photos of the guys there working out together. Whether it be a new player with a veteran, or whether it just be two DBs that gonna work together hard this year, and you like, oh, I can't wait to really see him. See him. And I know since we recorded, it's been the mini rookie camp has started and all of that stuff, but yeah, I had to say that because I saw a picture today of Josh Allen and Gardner Johnson, like embracing each other on
Two
the practice
dogs.
field, and I'm like, oh, that's
Two
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 dogs
dogs.
right there.
Yeah, two,
But if
two
I
pit
get him to
bulls,
have
man.
his back, yeah, if I get him to have his back, we good money because I know he gonna want that ball back in Josh hands ASAP by any means necessary. So shout out to all the veterans that's been able to make it. I know other veterans sometimes they got other stuff going on, and there haven't been no real reports anyway about much of anything. But anywho, last time we talked, man, we were in the midst of what the Sabres advancing, right? Were we? Because yeah, that was right
Nah,
before
we
game
were.
one.
I think we were right after game one
Nope,
last week. So
nope. You know what it was? It was right before. You want to know why? I remember the prediction that we gave, and I said whoever wins game one, I'm gonna pick the most likely win the series in like 7 or whatever. Didn't know we would go down 2-1, but I remember we were sitting here. Yeah, it might have been. We might have recorded that like a half hour before, or we ended like an hour before.
Wednesday,
Uh, yeah,
Friday,
because I think the
Sunday.
game.
Yeah, so right, we did it the evening of game one
Yeah,
before the
okay,
game
right.
started. Right, right, right,
Right
right,
before
right.
the game. I remember I got situated and I started, watching game one, and game one was
Yeah, I mean, shit. I told you what I said. I picked the most stressful outcome. I said Sabres in 7, and it is very much trending in that direction right now.
yeah,
It's-
yeah. I mean, and it's hard not to get right to it because obviously the Buffalo Sabres, for those who don't know, are in a series 2-2 with the Canadians, Montreal. And I think it's funny because we both gave similar predictions, and me not being a hockey expert, right? Me not being the, whatever. I kind of piggybacked off what you said. You said stressful. You said it's going to be back and forth. Talented team, and the Canadians, and I kind of just said, man, I think whoever can set, put they rock down, put their foot down first, would propel them to win in 7. But I must say, right after they won that game, the Canadians said, hold on. We ain't about to lay down. And when it was 2-1, I'm not gonna lie, because it's 2-2 now. I was like, man, if they lose this game and they go down 3-1, you're not trying to have the bad thoughts, but you think, and you'd be like, wow, look how quickly momentum changed in this series
Yeah.
from game 1 to game 2, game 3. But I'll let you give your thoughts, man. How were you feeling coming out of game 1, and then just where you at now?
It was tough coming out of game 1. You had a level of confidence just because it was a game they took care of business rather handily. But I knew what Montreal was capable of, and in game 2, they 100% showed that. Like, they outplayed the Sabres that entire game, and Sabres showed up with this. It's weird, with the same low energy that they did in the first round in game 2. Like, they beat Boston game 1, and in game 2 was kind of like they just sleepwalking or going through the motions. And it looked exactly the same way here. Like, you're too good of a team. You're too fast of a team to be just lollygagging up and down the ice and just look unfocused. And then went over to Montreal in game 3 and just got the doors blown off of them. Like, they didn't even show up. I said, oh, okay, this is how we – okay. And at that point – I said, okay, you got to come back and win game 4, because if not, like you said, you're looking at 3-0 or 3-1 dead in the face. So you got to go and take care of business right then and there and play your game. And they did not, even game 1, like game 1 was fine, but definitely game 2 and game 3, they didn't play their game. Like, they're not using their speed. They're not using their feet. Like, they kind of playing into, right, what Montreal wants to do. And granted, I mean, Montreal is probably the most difficult place to play in the league. So, like, the environment 100% makes a difference, but it's not like it's an unpenetrable force over there. Like, play your game. You're as good as Montreal, if not better, when you're actually playing your game. To show up. And they needed some secondary scoring because that first line ain't doing it. But, again, it's their young bucks that's really the one pushing the envelope. I mean, Zach Benson turned 21 yesterday, and he's been their best player by far. Just the one that's continually showing up, continually putting points on the board, continually getting the pucks in the net, winning all his battles along the boards. Like, he's doing all the dirty work and getting goals. Like, he is the one that's really, sounds dramatic, but putting the team on his back. Like, Benson right now is showing his whole ass this playoff. At age 21, doing what he's doing, like, man, he's putting his name on the map right now.
And I think from a sports perspective, if you're a fan, when you watch a team as talented as the Sabres, inexperienced, I guess, in playoff moments, you could say, for some of these guys, and you could tell, like, they got, like, tight, right? Or they got, you said, too comfortable, but I think sometimes in the playoffs, and we see this in different sports, one team is so talented, they almost feel like that should be enough, but they're also so inexperienced in those moments. They don't really know how to just play the game that they've been playing and playing it at a high level. Like, there's some people that know how to turn that off and on. There's some people that are like that 100% of the time, like the Kobe's of the world. But I watched the Sabres struggle, and to me, that looked like a team that collectively all weren't meeting the moment. Like, they all look like a bunch of young bucks out there, and not all of them as young as Benny, but you got Benny coming in there, I think, just with that heart, where it's like, what's the worst that can happen? You know what I mean? I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm just out here skating and playing a game that I love. While you got some of those guys on the team, I felt like, especially in game 2 and 3, either they were playing too uptight, or I feel like they just didn't know how to maintain that playoff intensity, because, as we know, it's a game in and game out thing. So that's just my 2 cents, though.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there for that, 100%. And even when they added Helen Hughes into the game yesterday, another 20-year-old showed his ass right away. Like, when you have young talent sometimes who are just supremely talented, you can't be afraid to put a talented guy on the ice or on the field, for that matter, no matter who it is. Like, the stage can never be too good when you got supreme talent. And yesterday was the first game all series when I felt this team was actually closer to their ceiling when it comes to the way they were moving the puck and moving their feet and winning battles on the glass and dominate. Because even early in the game, before all the BS happened with all the calls and the reviews and all that, they were dominating that first 10 minutes of the game. They were swarming around. They got an early goal, actually 2 goals. But again, their skates were moving, like they were playing high energy, like they can do at the best of their ability. But That game yesterday pissed me off, man. It's again, they
Don't
came out with a win, so I'm happy. But they took some dumb penalties. Referees are, rewarding a whole bunch of diving. I mean, the cross check that Thompson got called for, like, bro, that's a dive. Should have been both of them going to the box. If anything, the interference they called on Darlene, my man, he pulled a fucking shy, stuck his own leg out and got tripped and got a penalty for that. I say, yo, what are we doing, man? The review, you take 9 minutes to review a play, call it a goal just for a coach's challenge to review for another 6-7 minutes to overturn a goal. And all that did at the end of the day, you took a goal off the board and killed every bit of momentum that the Sabres had in that first couple minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, man, yeah, that's shit that pissed me off.
Yeah, I think that's a struggle for most Buffalo fans too, because you can relate to just being in those moments where everything matters, and then it just becomes a dramatic show that you're watching. It becomes, Bills Chiefs. I know most people mention that that's what that felt like, right? Bills Chiefs in that moment where everything that can get involved will get involved outside of just playing. And you're right, it killed that momentum for a while. But I think the one good takeaway I'll have about this before I ask for your prediction in game 5, the one good takeaway I will have is that when they were thrown in that adversity, right, on the road, they found a way, like you mentioned, with some of the young guys stepping up, but they found a way to rally the troops, right? Taking advantage of the power play. Little small things like that. It's like, oh, shoot, now we talked about it before. We said first round, second round, hey, by the time you get to the finals, you might be that team on a power play, but they're starting to get better. We talked about more shots that go last round towards the end. It was starting to, we might got something. And then in this game, you get 2. I know the one shot was kind of crazy, but you get 2 off the power play. So the one thing,
that's a ball don't lie. That's what that was.
Right. That's the sports guys looking out. But like I said, I'll end it with that. As far as for me, it's like they probably showed themselves what they already know. They're good. Go out there, skate around, fly around, hit, do what you got to do and get these buckets. Because one thing I've seen, and I know I'm using bucket as a hockey term, but one thing I know they can do with anybody in the league is score. Yeah. So let's get to it. Yeah, ain't Tage, find your legs, right? Tuck and some crews, say hello to the playoffs. Like, we here now. So it's like, this is where the real teams rise. They fought back. All right, now we had an even advantage. Now you come home, game 5, which we're about to get into, and ball up top. So how you feeling about game 5?
If they can feel good about the game as long as they can stay out the box. I mean, they can't take 7 penalties they gave up last game. Like, we can't do that. I think 13 penalties in the last 2 games. We can't have that because you're playing with fire with Montreal's power play. If you think you can walk out of there and give them 7 power plays, and they luckily only scored 1 this last game, I'm pretty sure. But you can't do that. But I think they found a little bit more of their game in game 4. So I mean, that definitely I think it should give them some confidence to build off of. Like, all right, now we gave up some ground these last 2 games, but we showed up with our game, and look what happened. So I think it was just a bit of a reminder of what can happen when they stick to the program. What we'll say McDermott term, trust the process. When you actually play the game, that's just the way you're supposed to play it. This is the result you get. So I think it was a bit of a reminder of what happens when we show up and do what we're supposed to do. So, I mean, I expect the crowd to be crazy. I mean, us as Buffalonians, we take pride in our teams, and then hearing everybody talk about how great Montreal fans are and how much they pack the building and how loud they are. I mean, knowing us and our fans, they're going to take that personally. And show up like, oh, yeah, I think y'all, all right, cool. Let me show you how this arena can get rocking too. So I think the energy is going to be high. I think, the excitement's going to be high. As long as that team taps into that and feeds off of it, I think Buffalo can come out of this with a win, which would be massive.
What's your score prediction?
If I had to predict right now, I guess technically I would guess 5-2. But one of those goals would be an empty net goal. I think they'll go into the third period 4-2, start to lock it down, get an empty net goal. That'd be my Early prediction of the game.
Yeah, well, I was about to say no need for me to say anything because I was thinking 4-2 in the back of my head anyway. I was thinking more so 3-2 for most of the third. And then they do get an empty netter or something towards the end, and the crowd enjoys it. But yeah, I think it's gonna be tight. I think the momentum will pick up where it left off. I'm thinking first period, maybe they get a 1 or 2-0 lead. Canadians fight back in the second, make it something in the third, but we eventually get the empty netter to end it. But I think Coach Lindy knows enough about this team to know what to say to get them ready, because he gonna have to tell them more than anybody. Like this right here, we thought the last game was important. This game 5 at home with a chance to be in place to win in either game 6, game 7, whatever. But right here, we got a chance to stomp it, to not end it, but put your foot down in the series, right?
Yeah, put a lot of pressure on that other team. Yeah, 100%.
So I think they gonna come off energy at least with the right mentality that's gonna get them up at least a score or two. So I'm going for it too, and man, by the time we record next week, we'll know who advancing, because they got to go.
Yeah, this series will be over regardless by the time we record. So we'll be either talking about how pissed I am that this season is over, or we on the Carolina.
Right, 100%. And I gotta be real with you. Try to say the second half of basketball. So, New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, folks, they have advanced.
The closeout kings right now.
Right now. You tell them it's elimination game. They like, bet. Let's get these fools out of here.
Yeah, let me drop 33 pointers on you, whatever number it was in total, because I lost count. I said, oh, this how we showing up?
18 in the first half is ridiculous. With no Clay and no Steph? Nah,
right.
That's not real. Those video games on easy mode numbers.
Yeah, I said, again, I got to this game about 15 minutes late because I was just wrapping up at work by the time I got the game. When I said, yo, again?
Yeah.
No, right off jump. I said, it's over.
Right. So for those who don't know, man, I know I'm talking around it. New York Knicks swept the Philadelphia 76ers 4-0. Big brooms, get them out of here. Yeah. And now they'll
win again.
Man, listen, right.
Disrespectful numbers in there.
Disrespectful. But we will know who we face between Detroit and Cleveland soon. But I can get into that part last. But I mean, I'll ask you, Z, real quick on the Knicks' behalf, since that series is now over. What was the most impressive thing for you that you got from that series?
Man, it's the depth again that just shows you, like, it's not just Brunson and Cat or OG or Hart. Like, it just, there's waves and waves, and this team can go like 11 deep. And I don't even think I'm exaggerating.
No exaggeration. And I know.
Yeah, it's like this. The depth that they acquire from a pound for pound, I don't know if any team is as deep as this team, just from top to bottom.
Yeah, not 1 through 11. Like San Antonio can get deep with some younger cats and some veterans on the bench. OKC, we already know they're known for being a deep team, but they're always battling injuries now recently, which is going to come into play. But yeah, I mean, you're right. In Minnesota, we know with the injuries that they have with Dante, like, we talking about depth, especially right now. We know Knicks got depth all season, but when it comes playoff time, always say, we talk about that in football. Depth matters, especially come late in the year, because you need guys to step up. Nobody knew OG was going to miss two in the games in 2 minutes. So it was like, some teams will hit panic mode. Like, you mean the best player in our playoffs so far, he got to be out?
Nick, I'm like, hey, dog, go rest up, dog.
Yeah, the season might be over. Yeah. But nah, Duke steps up. Ka-ching, Landry Shamet, ka-ching, Jose when he feel like it, Jordan Clarkson.
Imagine you said when he feel like it.
Man, because
he shoots so effortlessly though. Like when he on, it's just cash. Jose.
Ooh. Oh yeah, Jose. Yeah, he got a funny drink.
Yeah, but his drink effortless though. When it's time, it's a cash.
Yeah, on some casual shit. That's why I said,
right. That's why it's mad effortless. Like, you're not even trying, dog. Just throw it up.
Yeah, they got some snipers, but to add on to what you were saying about the depth, I think it's more so you can legit look at that team and you can pick out 9 starters for any team in the NBA, right? From all the way to your Clippers, to your Hornets, to whoever you can think of. There could be a Mitchell Robinson starting on that team, right? There can be a Jordan Clarkson starting on that team. There could be a Deuce McBride starting on that team. You know what I mean? Like I can go to Kolick can be a great backup point guard somewhere. Start for 10 teams. Kolick can get busy, but he only getting 4 minutes a game, right? So I was impressed with the depth. You know, I'm impressed with the way Deuce has bounced back. He came back from injury in early April, essentially, and he had to hurry up and get in the playoff shape. And I think that, you know, first few games, I'm like, oh, he's trying to find his shot. But he has picked up where he left off earlier in the season, where like he just became a knockdown 3-point shooter. Like 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pump fake, come back. And with his high arc and his release off the ground,
right,
it is hard to guard that. And even do that, he only like 6'3", maybe max.
And the thing is, you mentioned Deuce. That's like their 6th option as a scorer, 5th option as a scorer. Oh, yeah. Like that's not even their main rotation. Granted, he's in a rotation. That's not what I'm saying. But he's not their main scorers. Yeah. And like I said, that's your 5th, 6th, 7th option. Come on, man. You in great shape. And again, they've done this without Cat going crazy at all. Without, I mean, Brunson had, I think, one game this series in the high 30s. So without Brunson going off, this is just the team putting up 140.
Yeah, team basketball, boys, you know, shooting with confidence.
OG, like he ain't even been in the last couple games, and they still ain't missed a beat,
bruh. That's a deadly team, and that's why I'm starting to slowly see some commentators coming around. It took them a while, but I get it. Knicks fans were emotional too for a while. I was down on the team at times, but I kept saying, let me see this team get in the playoffs, because I just want to see if this is one of these dumb moments where a team waits to turn a knob in the playoffs and actually play like what they're – because I said all year long, they have one of the best starting fives and best benches in the league. They should been the 2nd or 1st seed in the East. But they had their moments where they took the feet off. They fake arguing. Ooh, I don't know what to do in this offense. And then they get to the playoffs, and then the coaches start to turn their meters up. Players start to realize, oh, this is my role. Just do whatever I need to win. Oh, okay, bet. You get the buy-in. You already got the veterans who've been in these playoff moments. You already got veterans who've made big plays for other teams. I went through the list of some of those guys. And then you got the main characters, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, who also been in these moments. So now you combine that and you playing a team like Atlanta. Half the team been there, half the team not. When I say half the team been there, really only 2 motherfuckers that, you know what I mean, was in the series who have a real playoff experience. And that was CJ and Kuminga, to be honest with you. And then you move on. You look at Philly, all the experience in the world from a veteran standpoint with Joel, Maxey to a certain extent. But there's a standard that most teams don't realize when you play the Knicks, and you got to play hard for 48 minutes. And a lot of teams don't got 48-minute squads. Like I said, San Antonio damn near do. Shout out to their strong roster. We know OKC can. And that's why those 2 are the favorites in the West, because the last team standing right now, the last 3, 4, I know Cleveland, Detroit is in it, so whatever. But the last 4 or 5 teams in it, you can look and be like, 1 through 10, 1 through 9, they just strong. I'm gonna have to. Ain't even no break I can give Donovan Mitchell. Ain't no break I can give Cade Cunningham. Ain't no break I can give Wemby when you playing one of these teams. SGA, you got your water. All right, come back in here, because they done just brought in such and such off the bench.
45 minutes a game.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, but the best thing I love about Knicks is that we don't gotta force nobody to play through that shit. If Cat need to sit down for 15 minutes a game and give him just 33 minutes, he can do that, and the Knicks
he might have has, because he's been in foul trouble. So like that's been part of the recipe.
I was about to say, low key, he been getting low management for the last 4 or 5 games just off of dumb fouls. Like this,
not by choice, but you just got dumb fouls, so you sitting down. And again, the team hasn't missed a beat,
right?
So you still always got that in your back pocket. You know there's a Brunson game at some point. You know there's a Cat game at some point. The way OG been playing, there's multiple OG games.
OG game, right. And don't
playing at
forget
such a
Mikal.
high level.
And don't
Yeah,
forget
and
Mikal.
Mikal is still quietly just balling, just doing what he needs to do. But he got a 35 night in him.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that. Shoot. I remember that one game. It stick out to me because he did it like a year and a half ago. We played San Antonio and Wemby went off. It was like Wemby rookie year. And this motherfucker Mikal had like 42 points, and the San Antonio Spurs was like, who is this motherfucker? Like every mid-range, every shot was falling, and it was like them Spurs young cats at the time. Your thing frozen a little bit. I don't know if you know that. But every young cat that was guarding him or whatever, they were just looking at Mikal, and he busy doing all of this. They like, yo, this nigga, motherfucking 6'7" swing man. Like, but I love Mikal though, man, because he represents to me more than anybody on that team. And shout out to Deuce and all those other guys, but real psychological perseverance, right? More mental perseverance than anything, because the amount of times he got questioned for his struggles throughout the season, trying to find his way. Mind you, he like the fourth option. So his struggle in shooting, his this, his that. Oh, here the 4 picks. Oh, we gave up this for this bum ass. Like the fact that he stayed the course, and we know he's a veteran, he's been through the finals before, to show up once again in the playoffs is big. On the biggest stages, at home in front of them same crowds that be dogging you online, on the road, when you got people mimicking you and doing all that standing in your face like Atlanta was doing till it was time for elimination and they saw the exit door. I love that dude, man, because that to me, that represents mental toughness. I hope one of these reporters really buckle into him one day, pause, really ask him like, yo, how do you mentally stay locked in when you've dealt with so many highs and lows throughout the season? I mean, there was a point in the season where he couldn't crack 8 points. Right. And motherfuckers was like, God damn, Mikal, 2 for 10. We just need you to get a couple. But Knicks fans was frustrated. We weren't winning. It was inconsistent. And I think most people know the potential of Mikal being veteran swingman who can lock down one of your guards and give you 20 on the other end without blinking. So yeah, that's my appreciation for Mikal. But what's your I'll go East first because we got to see really in the next few days who's gonna win that matchup. Who you see coming out of that matchup with Cavs Detroit?
I don't even know right now, dog. Like it's 2-2 right now, but I feel like no one has, obviously because it's 2-2, but no one has really seized the moment and really truly taken control of it. Because sometimes it can be 2-2 when a team just kind of steals a victory, but the other team is, really handily just in control. There's been none of that. It's Cleveland shows up one game, Detroit shows up the next, Cleveland shows up, Detroit. So like it's just, I have no idea how this is gonna play out. Like my gut is kind of leaning towards Cleveland right now. But I don't have any logic behind it, bro. That's just pure gut. I think experience probably is the biggest reason why I'm saying that. They do have some guys that's been there, done that on that Cleveland team. And this stage is still newer to the majority of these Piston players. Like, granted, I mean, they've been to the playoffs, but still, like this deep and in this type of series, this is, I think, still a little bit newer for most of that squad. And, I just think Cleveland would just somehow pull it out. But, I'm not saying that with true confidence, big dog.
Yeah, I think here's the fun part of this discussion, because there's 4 different ways to look at it if you're a sports fan of New York, Buffalo, Cleveland. If it's New York, Cleveland, and if everybody decides to root, you're going to have a lot of traveling going on. You know what I mean? It's going to be some people busting some moves to go to games, and that'll be the only fun portion of that, right? Because from a matchup standpoint, if you tell me the Eastern Conference Finals, and no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, because I still feel like they'll find a way to make it entertaining, that's not as marquee as a matchup as Detroit, New York, just because of the history from the last 12 months of Kay Cunningham and them just wanting to get back at the Knicks. And that's all their main goal has been, is to beat the Knicks. And they get a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals to advance to the finals. To me, that would be a nice little heavyweight watch. With the Cleveland, New York thing, I don't know. What you feel like is the more entertaining matchup between the two?
I think the more entertaining matchup is probably New York, Cleveland.
Okay.
Just because I feel like Yeah, it's just I think just from a pure entertainment standpoint. It's the way that
Basketball.
Detroit plays. It's just a heavier, slower, a little bit more of a grinded out game as opposed to Cleveland,
They play
who
like
can
they
get
got
out and
three
run.
seconds.
Yeah, they play a heavy game, and that's a game where if the game ended up 94-98, I'm not surprised. Just there's a lower scoring. It's crazy that scoring in the 90s are now low scoring when
Yeah, no.
back in the day that's a high scoring game.
It's been happening more recent though, because
Yeah,
not as many
yeah.
teams got bigs that can shoot. Period.
Yeah, so like I just feel like from an entertainment standpoint, Cleveland and Knicks to give you that bit more of a high flying game, but Knicks Detroit, that's a fun basketball matchup in a standpoint that you got two top defensive teams that's not afraid to guard you the full length of the court. So like that would be fun from a I'll say a basketball purist standpoint.
Yeah,
You got two teams that's willing to get dirty defensively.
It's willing to get dirty, got a little bit of a history. And like I said, everybody knew from the top of the year, Detroit wanted to come out and prove the East was there and they're going to get New York back. So, I can see that. I will say in the West, I know Minnesota and the Spurs going at it. I think it's inevitably going to be Spurs, OKC. And then, I mean, my way too early prediction is just OKC goes back. But, big but, if Wemby has one of those games, 2 games where he dropping 40, it's going to be tough for OKC to deal with that. I don't care who they got over there. If Wemby go crazy, it could be a long, whatever. I feel like if SGA go crazy, that's going to be just normal activity. But if Wemby give you a couple games, and this is if they beat Minnesota in their series, San Antonio could be going to the finals, and we could get a 1999 rematch. Spurs versus Knicks.
If Wemby, it's for them, it's all gonna boil down to him because he's gonna have to put that team on his back to get through OKC. They're just too talented of a team, top to bottom.
Yeah,
I think for the Spurs to handle this pound for pound, like Wemby gonna have to go off.
Yeah, on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, it's just gonna have to be this. This is not even a coming out party because he's already on the main stage, but this has to be. Yeah,
this
your
Shaq
moment, big dog. Yeah,
it's your moment. Yeah, Orlando Shaq when he got to the NBA Finals. Granted, he ain't win, but him, Penny, and Shaq was out there like, yeah, we here. Yeah. So this is definitely his big. No, I know I'm here, but I'm here, and I'm ready for the Knicks. That would be a movie, but I ain't gonna go too crazy. Like,
I mean, listen, whoever gonna run up against OKC, they got multiple issues to run up against because you got supremely talented players and you got a team full of Oscar level actors that you got to deal with too. And you got a very gifted defensive team in Knicks who are probably going to get called for a ton of fouls just on the way that referees tend to call Oklahoma games. So that's a dynamic that's going to have to get addressed. But if I'm Knicks and it come down to Knicks OKC, I'm playing bully ball on Shy.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna go to the line regardless, but you gonna feel every last one of these fouls.
And here's the thing I love is either matchup I feel like we throw at him gonna be good, whether it's Mikal or OG. I think as long as you got one of those two on him while he in the game, and I know Tom Thibodeau used to do his thing where he would check people in, check people out based off who was in the game. I'm not saying you got to go that far because I do got faith in guys like Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet to play good defense when they come in because those guys actually play great defense when they come in. But I think having Mikal, having OG, it's pick your poison. Okay, Jalen Williams is back. Cool. One of us going to guard him. One of us staying on you. Let's play ball. And I mean, like you said, physicality is the key, but you also have to ride that. How physical do we want to be before the refs say, hello, we're here. You know what I mean? So that's tough, but OG, Mikal, to me, great matchups for them. And then obviously if we switch it over to San Antonio, the Wemby versus Mitchell Robinson, Cat, OG, because they'll throw OG on there for like 20 seconds too, just to, put an elbow on his side. So a lot of fun stuff going on in the basketball world, obviously the hockey world as well. But I do want to wrap this up close to probably in the next few minutes. But was there any other closing thoughts that you had before we
last thing real quick, what's your quick thoughts on home opener week 2 Thursday night for the Bills?
Yeah,
Like, what
I'm
was your
glad.
initial thoughts when you heard that?
Yeah, circle back. Initially, I'm like, oh, guess I'm gonna miss work that day.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, whether we there or not, but I think we're gonna go out there tailgate, whatever. Now that we know what time it is, that's really a full day of tailgating, I guess, right? Because you're taking out the day, you there damn near from 8, 9 a.m. till 10, 11 at night. But yeah, we'll probably do our little usual, whatever, not going in. So, shout out to you for getting that experience that Thursday. But initially, I said it is what it is. They want the new stadium under the bright lights. The opponent, okay, I'm not mad at Detroit. It could have been somebody like, oh, the Jets because of what happened in the 60s. No, I don't care about that. Give me somebody real that's going to have the lights and the fireworks going in Thursday. And I thought Detroit wasn't a bad option. I could see 2 or 3 others, but I think it would have been too cheesy to do like Kansas City, to whatever to do New England, which I thought New England was probably one of the top 2. But overall, I'm happy with it. That just means I already got a day that I got to take. I can mark off my calendar in September and get ready for a full day of tailgating. So what you think?
Yeah, my initial thought was like, dang, just a reminder about how much I hate Thursday games, just because I was never a fan of Thursday games. But I knew at some point that home opener was going to be Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So I knew it was going to be a prime time event anyways.
Yeah.
I'm still a purist. I still want my home opener to be 1 o'clock on a Sunday, but that ain't happened for the Bills. I think it did happen last year. I think it might have happened last year.
Yeah.
Even before then, it's been years. So like that's not the norm. It is what it is when you have a good team. So of course I wanted my Thursday or my Sunday at 1, but I knew that wasn't going to happen with a new stadium. So I'll survive Thursday night. It'll be a good marquee. Again,
you're gonna get some Detroit fans in there too.
Yeah, I'm happy that first Thursday night game is at home. So, it'll be a short week, but we don't have to deal with the travel. I'm happy that it's a good matchup, because like you said, Jets to open the stadium the same way the last one did. I don't need that. So it's a good team. So there's actual entertainment on the field too, because Detroit's going to be coming in with a good team.
Yeah.
I'm happy to get them on a shorter week. Thank you. I'll take it. It doesn't have to mean anything, but again, whatever advantage I can get with this tough schedule they got, I'll take it. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a crazy environment regardless. You get the normal, season opener vibes. Plus, you got this whole new level.
It's going to be a full day event.
Yeah.
It's going to be a full day event. So get ready to take off or do whatever you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. This will be the earliest I've ever went into a stadium game. The game will start a little bit after 8. I'll probably be in there by 7 at the latest, just to kind of soak in all of this that's happening.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, man. That's gonna be a dope experience.
Every time an email come through about a PSL payment or a ticket payment, I'm like, dang, another one. But it is what it is, man.
Price we pay, man. The price we pay, but
price we pay for me to go to 2 games a year. Look at my ass,
that's crazy, right? I'll be hollering that, Greg. I might slide in there once, or whoever be taking the ticket.
Hey, they there because I'm still gonna go to my 2 to 3 max.
Yeah, I know how you gonna go, so that's why I'm like I'm trying to respect the ones who really get money off these tickets, but
I'm not in it for the selling aspect. It's just, bro, it's hard to go to 8 or 9 games a year.
Yeah,
especially having a young kid and then business be crazy. Like it's just the time aspect is tough. So I'm like, I got to do what I can.
Yeah, nah, I ain't mad at you, bro. I tell you all the time, like you ain't got as much going on around you to be, that's a quick decision. I mean, not a quick decision, but that's a decision you can be like, man, not this week.
Oh, it's a quick decision. It don't take long. Look, as soon as that schedule come, I already know. Like I'll be at that one, and that one. Other than that, I'm good.
Yeah.
But again, with the new stadium, maybe the cold weather games might change a little bit. I got to go out there and see what it's like now.
I'm about to say you got to test the waters on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go out there and see what I can handle now.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting the photos from you guys from inside the stadium. It's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be a surreal day. The day gonna feel like Christmas Eve before. I mean, I know the season won't technically be just starting, but it's gonna have that Christmas Eve feeling over there in Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
So y'all,
100%. Man. You already know the vibes for the season opener in general. It's gonna be crazy. So it's just
yeah,
another added element for what it's gonna be.
100%, man. Can't ready to get the most outrageous outfit. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
and I'm now just looking forward to see what the rest of the schedule look like because
and that's gonna be big next week, y'all. Just so y'all know, man, y'all come back and join us as we kind of recap the second round with the Sabres to see which direction that went. Talk about the Knicks going into the Eastern Conference Finals, and then also our reactions to the NFL schedule. So a lot more to get into. I know pretty soon we'll be taking a few weeks off in June to get situated. Let some of the small camps go by and revisit stuff at the end of June. But right now we back at it next week. So we appreciate y'all for listening, letting us talk about our favorite teams, right? Sometimes it's a little outside of the Bills, right? The Buffalo Sabres, New York Knicks, and a couple other things going on. And yeah, y'all gonna catch us next week. So I'm Val.
This is Z. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all and all that.